1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. 1, 2. Talk to the angler. Talk to the angler. Talk to the angler. Test 2, 3, talk to the angler. Test 1, 2, 3, talk to the angler. Test. The angler. What if I let the angler do this? Hand it to the angler, and then I'll stand next to them, or I'll make sure that they stand right next to me. All right. Test 1, 2, 3. Talk to the anglers. Sound check 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Talking to the anglers. 1, 2, 3. Keep going with it. We'll be fine. We're just doing it so people wouldn't trip, but you're all going to walk around the other way. Thank you, though. Do it one more time. It's already live. It came loose. GL, this came loose. That's what I would mean. live. Bassmaster live. Welcome to. Once we get started, don't mind chatting. Every talk we do, congratulations. Thank you, everybody. This is where the magic line is. Right. Kind of once all that's done, I'll need to probably stand right here. All right, Waters. I want to welcome all of you to Scholarship on Lake Chickamauga very soon. It'll be March the 22nd, 23rd, held in conjunction. All of these championships that we've had have been pretty memorable. The representatives that won that are a testament, to good anglers, good people. Had a lot of courteous people this weekend, especially with the weather and the conditions that happened. You all stepped up and helped one another, which is just, what makes our sport, extra special. End of the season, your best 3 points of your season based off a 250-point system will take home $5,000. And within each event, the top 5 finishers will qualify for the Bassmaster Kayak Series Championship in 2024. We're going to work hard to get that lake announced within the next month or to get qualified. Again, we always like to mention the Bass Nation Kayak Series that we all have started, and the foundation for it's set pretty good. From those series, you'll be able to create your own standalone open champ, top 10% from it, get to make it to the Bassmaster. 50 of you will be awarded a spot at the championship as well. So that's what you're fishing for this year. Go ahead and just call you all up here and let you do your thanks. And Rodriguez lost the tiebreaker to Jay. Lance Coley. All right, Jay, if you don't mind, come on over. We'll talk about your big bass.
And, I love Guntersville. This is the second time I've fished this lake. I got big bass that keeps pretty shallow.
So you've had a lot of
I
experience.
just fished new water actually, so it turned out I caught a.
We appreciate you, man. Be safe getting home.
Thank you.
With a day 1 limit of 78 1/4, day 2 limit with an 86-inch. Take the mic. You can just explain your weekend and anything else you want to say. We appreciate you coming out. Lance, as I mentioned earlier, fishes about everywhere in Alabama, and he does really well about everywhere he goes. I believe you fish some more of the Tennessee River system, but I'll just let you tell us about yourself. And we appreciate you, and you're taking home $500.
Thanks, Steve. Actually, big fan of Tennessee River, more of a Coosa guy, but I just finally started to figure some things out there. So, like, wasted all the time. But I want to thank Redline Liquors, those few of my fish on the Redline Liquor bait today. That's about it. It was tough, but I'm just happy to actually.
In 23rd place, taking home $525, 82-inch day 1, 82 3/4 day 2 for 164 3/4 inch.
That was close enough.
That's Tennessee close enough.
That's right. Never fished Guntersville before. First time ever here to practice. Pretty much just kind of milling around the lake, checking out what I've heard about it. Found a couple things in practice and just pretty much everything I caught was big spots. But it was just a little hump that seemed to have I think bass, put on such a great event. And thank the fish for fighting.
Came out this weekend. It's got us looking forward to Lake Hartwell next, April 5th. Second place, taking home $550 with an 86 1/2 day 1, 70. Well, Blake's one of the directors for the North Alabama Kayak. To do that everywhere we can so that we incorporate, our grassroots anglers.
It was males eating their fry.
We fished We fish Lake Guntersville a lot together.
Yeah.
Skip this guy on purpose. In 21st place, winning $575. 84-inch day one, 82 and a quarter day two for 166 and a quarter. In South Carolina, he placed and got to.
Striker Diggs, Chuck Knight, a teammate of mine. I like to thank all my other teammates that are here with me. A couple of them over there, like Josh, Brandon, Dwayne. My buddy Yak was here with us all week too, camping. Camped through those crazy storms, caught some fish, catch.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Be safe. All right, I'd like to welcome up Eric Siddiqui, Bodine Willis, Drew Gregory, Josh Stewart. Angler that's a pretty special person to me. This next angler had 83 and a half inches day one, 84 inches day two, 165 and a half, taking home $650. Jim and I have been friends since middle school. Fishing brought us back together in a friendship and a brotherhood. We hadn't seen each other in probably 20 plus years, and one morning I got off of work on night shift and drove to Bennett's Lake in Marion County where we're from, and there he was standing on the dock throwing, crappie baits, trying to catch white bass or whatever he could. He turned into a good fisherman. He's a person I'm in contact more, and probably wouldn't be knowing him right now if it weren't for kayak fishing. So taking home $650 and 18th place Bodine Willis. Bodine, appreciate everything you do. Highly supportive of everything we've got going on back home. Just want to let you talk about your event and how everything went for you. Just kind of stand.
First off, I'd like to thank Steve. Whether it's fishing or personal things, he's always been there for me. I call him anytime during the middle of the night. He'll answer, talk to me, pray for me, and he's helped me grow my relationship with Christ, and I really appreciate that. My first spots were flooded out, so I backed up and punted, and I just knew I fished upper end. I figured it'd be just covered up, and luckily there was only 3 other kayaks there. And, they wasn't biting real good. I threw driftwood swim baits the whole time. That's the only thing I caught fish off of. I really enjoyed it. I like the kayak fishing community. The camaraderie between all of us I just love it.
Good.
Just had a great time.
Thank you, Bodine. Appreciate you. The 17th place, take with an 88 and a half on day one, dipped down to 79 3/4 day two, 168 quarter total limit, taking on $675. Josh Stewart.
Hey, how you doing?
Good job, man. Most all of you know Josh. Most all of you know most everybody coming up here. There's a lot of check cashers in this room, and that's just always a testament to, the talent showing up, when it's time to bow up. And we appreciate all that you do, Josh. And Josh is a hammer in Tennessee. He's in everything that we do. Nationwide, he's a check casher, always in the top for Angler of the Years and championship qualifications and everything. So Josh is also very, very good on Lake Guntersville, as he showed this weekend. So I'm just going to give him the microphone and let him talk about how everything went for him and getting ready to be a papa.
Oh yeah, I got a baby coming up March 21st. Basically, all I did with today was just, and yesterday was put a trap in my hand. That's the only thing I did was all day, every day. And for the last week, and my elbow is killing me pretty bad right now. But other than that, probably should have moved quicker than I did today. I found cold up 3 times the last hour. But that's about it. Just trap fishing all day.
Well, obviously, other than Lauren, you got anybody back home you want to thank?
Oh yeah, I'd like to thank Dugout Bacon and Tackle, Jackson Kayak for sure, Yak Attack, and Dakota Lithium, and Berkeley Fishing.
All right, Josh, we really appreciate you coming. We look forward to seeing you at the next championship and hopefully more events this season.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Next up, in 16th place with an 89 and a quarter inch limit on day one, 79 on day two, 168 and a quarter total, taking home $700. one of the better engaging people that we have in the kayak industry. If you watched his live yesterday and the YouTube following, you could just see the emotion and the stress in this person's face, and it was just, we get a kick out of things like that because it just shows the true rawness of what we do. Man was struggling to find fish in this ugly weather, and he did find them, paid off. So any of these anglers that you see and you hear their names, look their social medias up. That goes a long way to our kayaking sport. Because when we share things and we get engagement on their YouTube channels, Instagram, things like that. So I want to bring up and give $700 to 16th place Drew Gregory.
Thanks, Steve-O. Appreciate it. Is this one better?
Well, no, you use this one, but that's got to pick it up. So
All right, so
appreciate
you guys at home. Okay. Man, it was a challenge out there. Only my second time fishing Guntersville. And, of course, everything kind of got blown out. So I just went pre-fishing, both days. Just kind of took a gamble, saw what looked good. I got to thank my roommate, stayed with me, Steve Baker. We shared a backwater on day one, and we did pretty well out there. And I knew we'd kind of beat it up pretty bad. So I started a little bit further up the river and worked my way down to there and just put that torpedo on high, just kind of covered main river stuff, creek mouths, anything I could find, a current break. And, Josh was talking about throwing a trap all day long, one bait. Dude, the front of my kayak, my Crescent Kayak Shoaly, just was loaded with 30 baits, like main river, 3/4 ounce jackhammer, and then like all the stuff for the clear water and the backwater. It was just a mess. It was a yard sale. But somehow, miraculously, thanks to God, for real, man, I was struggling, and I only caught, 6 fish yesterday, just happened to get the right ones, and then 7 today. It worked out, so I can't complain. Anytime you start the year off like this, especially, I'm trying to defend that AOI, man, so starting like this is pretty good, but there's so many talented anglers in the Bassmaster Kayak Series and in this room. Yeah, I'm going to need a finish better than this, my best 3 this year. It's best 3, right?
Yes, sir.
Best 3, so I'm going to need something better than this. I'm going to have to get rid of this one because you guys are too good. So anyway, I want to thank wife back home, Christina. She's taking care of the kids. I've been gone for a long time, my longest trip of the year, so I want to thank you. Say hey to Theo. Hey, Theo. Hey, buddy. Hope you're doing good. Be good for Mom. I'll be home tomorrow. And, just thank Crescent Kayaks, Z-Man. Torpedo is key. And new this year for me is X2 batteries. And follow me on social media if you want. Drew Gregory Fishing. And let's go to the next one. Thanks,
Thank you,
Steve.
Drew. Appreciate you very much. Thank you. 15th place, taking on $725. 86-inch day 1 limit, 82 per day 2, for 168. Defending Bassmaster Kayak Series champion, Eric Sadiq.
Thank you, man.
As I've mentioned several times to plug him, he's a good man. He deserves all that he can get. Eric's obviously a champion. Eric's won quite a few large tournaments across the country. He's always in contention there as well. What always really amazed me about Eric is even if we as friends would go fish in places local, there's some people that just know where to go. We all do map study. We all watch YouTube. We all read the articles. We all know the pros and lake legends. But Eric shows up to these places and just somehow you just know where that one drain is or that one hump or whatever. So I don't know if any of that played into this here. He's fished Guntersville quite a bit, cashed quite a few checks here, I believe. So did you fish history, or did you just have to get out and look for something as the water changed from all the rain?
Yeah, so I got here Wednesday evening. So pre-fishing was Thursday and Friday, and you know how those days were pretty ugly. So I did a lot of driving around. Didn't see anything that I liked, and I won KBF Trail last year, early in the year in an area, and I thought, there'll be some fish there, so I decided just go check it out. Had some other places, that I had fished in that area that I could fall back on, and went there and caught them pretty good. I got a 21 first thing on day one, and then if the tournament would have ended, day two would have ended 20 minutes in, I would have been in good shape because I caught him quick. I caught him. I was calling 20 minutes in. It's literally so. But yeah, it's been this is my first tournament of the year, third day on the water or fourth day on the water. So can't complain. Just get the cash check and get back to fishing.
Well, thank you, Eric.
Thank you,
What do you look forward to next on the Bassmaster schedule this year? I know you're one of the anglers who are fortunate enough to travel and fish a lot. You think you see yourself at Hartwell next in April 15th, 16th?
It'll be a Hartwell. I'm really looking forward to the championship, though. It's
Yeah.
going to be Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. I love Chickamauga, as you
Yeah.
know. That's where we met, so yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So looking forward to that.
Thank you, Eric. Be safe getting home. Thank you. We'll bring in the next four anglers. Jason Cassidy, Dave Luze, Marty Hughes, Lance Burks. I wonder if mentally they're getting in order because they know it's one fun. All right, in 14th place, 85.25 inch, day one. Stayed consistent with an 85 on day two. Gentlemen, I was extra happy to see you drive all the way from Nebraska to take home $750. Marty Hughes.
Thanks, Steve. Good to see you, man.
A lot of you know Marty. Marty's been around this for a very long time. He's a very knowledgeable individual. If you have any questions about, kayaks in general, you're pretty much a good rider. He's got a lot of things. We talked about the old school kayak stuff that I read just recently. And he was recently on Kayak Bass Nation, did a really good segment there talking about stuff. So, just want to, let you get into, what's different fishing in Nebraska versus Guntersville, and you get to take home a check here on Guntersville.
It's warmer. Nebraska's tough to fish, and that's why I think a lot of Nebraska anglers do well across the country. Not myself, but there's some Christine Fisher and others like her and Jay Moore there, because of how tough it is where we're at. But some of the same dynamics, But first I want to thank you and thank what you guys have done, because I've been doing this a long time. This is my 25th year kayak fishing. And I've seen it grown from the paper and pencil recording your fish to the tape measure to what we use now, and it's just phenomenal what you guys do. Dwayne Wally with Tourney X is phenomenal. How he got that back this morning, pretty cool. But also for the fishing part of it, I found a pinch point and I had a little deep pool and a flat on each side, and I threw. Everybody knows I throw the Nico. That's what I threw, and I threw the jackhammer, red jackhammer with a black cherry paddle tail on it. Did pretty good with that. Had my limit in 23 minutes first day and about an hour and something the next day, and just couldn't find any kickers this time. But again, I want to thank my wife Diane for letting me be gone so long, because I'm retired now, so I just take off, and she's like, I'll find out when I get back. But anyway, thank you guys for everything. Anything else?
You gonna be able to fit any more in on your travel log this year?
You know what? We'll see what happens when I get back. But
well, you're taking home a little money, so just let her have all of it.
As long as I have enough money, so I'm able to do it. But anyway, I'm going to go to La Crosse, which I love, and then I've been to Possum Kingdom, did good at the last one, so I'm going to go there, and I look forward to those, and hopefully make your nationals next year.
Awesome. We really appreciate it. You got a lot of good Dakota Lithium AOY points from this one.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
13th place, taking home $800. 89-inch day one, 81.5 day two, 170.5 total. Missouri Lance Burks. Good to see you again, Lance. Lance gets to travel quite a bit as well in some of these events. He's always in contention, and like a lot of people are out in here, but he's one of the names that you do see. He fishes the Midwest stuff and is a hammer there. I believe you fish the All-American Series and the others out that way. So testament to, that level up from, what we're all trying to get everyone to. So, Lance, I'll let you get into your weekend when you came in, if you had to adjust due to the weather or if you just went found.
Well, came in Wednesday afternoon, and kind of scattered around, didn't have anything really picked out. I've only been here one other time, it was about 3 years ago. After that, just found a spot that looked decent on the map and went out and tried it, found some pretty good sized fish. So I thought that's probably where I'm going to start. Of course, Friday didn't really do much on it, so I was getting blown around. And got wet on Thursday. So I had a good day one, and today was a grind, but I found a little pattern afternoon and put putting the limit together.
How many, overall, what do you think, like, your fish total was? Did you just catch what it took to get your limit, or were you able to cull through some quite a bit?
I caught 8 on day 1, and today I think I only had 6.
You got anything else you're gonna be able to fit on the schedule this year?
I'm gonna try to hit them all.
Okay, well, great. Well, hope good luck on the Angler of the Year. You know, like Drew Gregg mentioned earlier, we got a lot of people in here, especially after event 1. Hopefully, there's a lot of excitement going on with that, and we'll get to see you pretty soon on Hartwell.
Hopefully.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, thank you.
Take home $850 in 12th place. 80 1/4 inch day 1, 90 1/2 day 2. Stepped up considerably for 170 3/4 inches. Jason Cassie.
Go ahead. You can
We'll let Jason hop in here in just a moment. Ran into Jason recently. We're fishing Tennessee Bass Nation on Lake Chickamauga. We had 94 anglers in it, so that series is going really well. We like the fact that, you all travel across the country and fish to what we're trying to build, so continue to reach out, and we'll help you with the Bass Nation stuff any way that we can. But we'll let Jason get into his weekend. Spoke with him earlier. It looks like, you had an amazing time, and then obviously today, today was where it paid off to you because you jumped 10 inches almost. So I'll let you come up really close to the microphone here, and let's get everything going, buddy. Thank you.
Real close. All right. Thanks, Steve, and thanks, Bassmaster. Yeah, Guntersville is beautiful. Had a horrible practice. My fiance had to go out of town on business, so I was stuck at the camper with the dogs by myself. So I felt obligated to be a dog dad and go back and check on them a little bit middays. So my practice was just bad. The storms obviously came through, and I didn't know where to start. I was talking with a buddy at the campground. He's like, "Where are you going?" I said, I don't know. And found a place upriver. Watched it on the Bassmaster Classic 2020 YouTube, and started fishing. It's full of spots, lots of spots. My fingers are just wore out. I left them biting, thinking, if I caught another 14-inch spot, I'd kick myself in the butt if I needed them on Sunday. These multi-day events, for the guys that, are watching and haven't done it, managing fish is a real deal. And I left them biting, went to a different spot, upgraded one more time. Sunday, went back there, like Siddiqui was saying. If the tournament would have ended at 6:30 this morning, I'd be having one of those blue trophies. I was calling fish. I had my smallest fish was in the 17-inch range, inside of 7 o'clock this morning. I caught about 40 fish there. You can follow me on social media, YouTube. I had 2 cameras going. It should be pretty juicy. It was really, I had a lot of fun. I haven't had this much fun fishing a tournament, even though the size wasn't there. I had to leave it, and actually ended up right down the road here at Goose Pond. Again, watched a guy on the Bassmaster Classic fishing a bridge. I can't fish grass to save my life, so I went with a bridge. I caught a 19 and then a 19 1/4. Couldn't get anything else, and that's pretty much how it wrapped up. Disappointed that I didn't call out the 17-inch because I know there's a lot of us tied, and that would have went a long way to get rid of it. But sticking with the 17-inch is my smallest fish. It's a good problem to have. I'll take it.
Good. We appreciate you coming out, and glad that you were able to ramp up and make it happen for yourself.
Yeah. Real quick, want to thank my fiance. She's my biggest cheerleader, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Jackson Kayak, Orion Coolers, full of Black Dog Brewing Company beer. You got to have the beer. Planet Fitness, Basco, Little Miami Outfitters. Brandon Palmer builds a great rod. Check those guys out. YOLO Tech. I'm probably forgetting somebody else, but yeah, thank you again.
All right, appreciate it. Thank
Thanks.
you very much. Let's see. The 11th place, taking home $900 with 87 1/2 day 1, 83 1/4 day 2, 170 3/4 inch limit. Finally get it right. Dave Luzay. Get your stand first, Dave, just tell everybody, you're from Florida, correct?
I'm actually from right outside of Chicago.
All right.
So I'll thank my brother first because I said, if you want to meet me at Guntersville, because I'll do lacrosse. I might try to do another one now after I get finished here. But I said, if you meet me at Guntersville, I'll meet you there. So he said, all right, and here we were. Definitely want to thank Elena and the kids at home for letting me do this. You know half of my story because obviously we practiced and we kind of rotated our stuff in the tournament. So managing water was a big deal for us. Who gets it when, all that good stuff. But found some good largemouth, very particular spots in a grass flat or not in practice first day. Actually, probably Wednesday in practice, and they were there for 10 minutes every morning and gone. So luckily we found a shell bed in Main River that had some spots on it and turned out to be some big spots. Caught almost a 20-inch spot today. So it worked out. I've caught fish on probably 7 or 8 baits, just rotating stuff and trying to get a bigger bite.
Think you'll be able to fit anything else on your schedule after this one?
Lacrosse for sure, and then depending on how that goes, probably hit Susquehanna at that point,
Yeah,
depending
I'm
on where I'm
looking
at. Yeah.
Looking forward to Susquehanna. That's where we'll close our season out, is on the Susquehanna River system. So we're really looking forward to it. And apologize for the Illinois. My old eyes have finally had to get glasses. So I've been looking at what I thought was FL on your Attorney X ID today.
That's all right.
Now that I got them on, it is IL. So I appreciate you guys traveling.
Yep.
Appreciate you putting the faith in us. putting
He's
on this
Florida.
event.
I'm Illinois. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All
you
right.
got it.
Appreciate it. Well, so I wasn't wrong. Thank you. In 10th place, the 88 on day 1, 84 and quarter on day 2, 172 overall total. For Virginia, taking home $1,000, Jason Henson. Jason, good job, man. I'm doing
Thank
well.
you.
It's always good
Thank
to
you.
see
Appreciate it.
you guys on the road here. I'm gonna just let you guys. I know we ran into each other at several tackle shops, so you're probably going to take home about $80 out of this 1,000. So
That's
really,
about right.
So I want you to step up close to the
Yeah.
silver microphone here, though,
All right.
and this is one we can hear at home. And just talk about your weekend.
All right, thank you. Like I said, from Virginia, first time being here at Guntersville. Can't wait to get back. Had an awesome time, caught a lot of good fish. Wednesday got here and pre-fished. I stayed up the river the whole time, basically at the Coma Bridge ramp. And really, I stayed within sight about 300 yards of the ramp, 400 yards of the ramp the whole time. And didn't have any pressure, nobody else around. So everybody else that put in went up, and pretty much had the area to myself both days. And luckily it worked out. But Friday, when I got there, it was nice. Caught them on the frog, some really, really good fish. I mean, they were tearing the frog up. And then we didn't fish at all Thursday or Friday because of the storms and stuff. So we rode around, spent money on fishing tackle, and yeah, just cut up. But and then went up there Saturday, and it was a chatterbait bite all day long, and it was great. Today was completely different. I didn't catch my first fish today till about 11 o'clock. So my nerves were, complete wreck up to that point. I was trying to force feed the chatterbait and finally put it down. I picked up a swim jig, a dirty jig swim jig with a Kayak 3.8 in bluegill color. And that's what ended up being what I caught my fish on. And caught my last fish with 2 minutes left to go.
You got anything else you got? Your little crew thinks you're going to make it this year?
I'm gonna go to Hartwell for sure, and we'll see what happens after that.
You got some really good points, so hopefully you do well at Hartwell. That gets you in on the third one, and that's just a step closer to get to the championship.
Yep, thank you. Like to tell my wife and kids I love them. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. Like to thank K9 Fishing and One Objective, Josh and James over there at One Objective. Great guys, great kayak accessories and products. Check them out, oneobjectivebf.com, and I appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much. Be safe getting home.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. In ninth place, a 90 3/4 inch day 1, dropped down to 82 3/4 today, but still held on for 173.5 overall. Taking home $1,325. Nick Dyer. Good job, Nick. Come on in here. This won't hurt you. I promise you. You can see what we're part of it all. So,
Gotcha.
Want to thank Nick. Nick's also one of those anglers who run grassroots stuff in Georgia. He's a big part of our Georgia Bass Nation Kayak Series. It takes a lot of work to put on these series and these events, no matter, how big or what level you're at with them. Just want to thank you for that, Nick, and let you talk about your weekend. I know you came in kind of late getting here, but I know you've been here some before. But any history help you, or was it all just hunting up new stuff?
All of my previous trips at Guntersville have basically been to eliminate water. I don't think I've posted a limit yet. So I knew where I was not going. I got into town Friday before dark, rode to a ramp that I had done some map study on, and I got out of my truck and was like, yeah, there's water there, so we're going to go fishing and just kind of see what happens. It was a lot more exploring, covered a lot of water towards the end of the day, got into a hot spot and caught some fish back to back and really added up quick, got excited. So, today I was really excited to get out there and head right to that spot and it was a very specific thing that I was doing. No kayakers headed that way. Get back there and there's a boat camped out. So, one of the people I want to thank is the guy in that boat, because we actually communicated. I'm like, ooh, when I see him there, and he actually kind of made some room. He did tell me his parting words were, you should have been here 30 minutes ago because I've wrecked them. And he obviously did, because there were very few left. But I do thank him for, making some room for me. It was a good yesterday, and today I'm kind of proud of at least being able to keep it together, because that momentum swing, I broke off a big once he made room, and I got in there. I had a big that I saw, had me wrapped up, and head shake, broke me off. It was probably a 20 plus. So, had some things go wrong. I took a break and just trying not to spin out, took a break and just went for about a 45-minute pedal just to see if something would reset either in my head or in the spot, and came back still needing the fifth fish and got a bite from a 21. So, it was a struggle today, but it worked out. So, I definitely want to thank Steve-O for everything he does with the Bassmaster, obviously, but with the local grassroots community as well. Invite everybody. May 6th, we've got a Peach State Kayak Anglers, which is the club, grassroots club. I'm a board member, and it's a co-event with Georgia Bass Nation on Lanier. Great fishery, great time of year. Peach State, we try and do a good job throwing good events. We know anything that Steve-O's associated with is going to be a great event. So you guys feel like traveling, Lanier's great fishery, great time of year. Thank my traveling crew. Lance is here. He got him a check today. Joe McElroy, we're glad he's safe, and a little worse for wear, but he's safe and going to be with us again fishing some more. So he had a rough day pre-fishing with some weather. Chuck Wise, thank my little traveling crew and all of my friends that I keep up with, all the social media support that post and text of everybody, sending good thoughts. Thank my wife at home, my family, for all the support, and I said thank all you guys for being here.
Thank you, Nick. Be safe. See you on Lanier. In 8th place, the 94.25 big limit on day one, tailed off to a 79.5 today. The gentleman already had to head home to North Tennessee, taking home $1,750. Daniel Pro Neighbor Lyons. All right, in 7th place, taking home $2,000. Gentleman set the pace for day one with a 96.5. Didn't do too well today, but stayed up enough to be able to take home $2,000. 78 3/4 inch limit, 175 total for the weekend. Coleman, Alabama, Case and Wallace. Case, we come up and let you hold on. I'll just give you a fist bump. I'm gonna let you hold this closer so that YouTube gets it better at home. But as I mentioned yesterday, Cason's one that we follow quite a bit. You know, he's got his YouTube live things, and you get to fish all hours of the day, which is something I wonder how he gets to do. But he's got a family and a job, and he does really good at all of that. But you know, watching him, you know, for the last 3, maybe 4 years, just watching him start out, throwing a kayak in the back of a truck and whatever he could get, and then graduating up, and just watching his skill level change is from a distance, and then we showed up on Guntersville one day, and he was in the juice that we thought not many people knew about. But anyway, we had a good day fishing. But it's just been a pleasure to watch you the last several years and what you do. You're committed to it and dedicated and passionate, emotional about it, just like me. But just continue to put that kind of stuff out there. It's an inspiration to a lot of people. But I'm going to let you talk about your weekend here. Obviously, you know, you took off stroking them on day one. Today was, you know, a little more difficult for you, but just let you just give the overall, you know, tally of what happened for you.
Well, first, I came to the lake. I hate Lake Guntersville. Anybody asks me, I hate this lake with a passion. I hate grass. I'm used to Coleman. I'm used to rock and deep water. I used to beat the bank. Like he said, I was in a canoe 3 years ago. I've probably been bass fishing for 3.5 years. I picked up a rod, went and beat the bank for a little while 3 years ago, picked up a canoe, and then it's been uphill since. Basically today I got off the bank like I've been trying to for the past 2 years, and slowly made my way out to like a shell bed or a shoal that we had previously fished. Like he said, I was in a spot that he had known in another tournament, and we fish here a lot. So I had fished here a couple months ago, maybe 6-7 months. I've been here back and forth before the off limits time, so I've been spending a lot of time here. I knew that there was grass that had previously grown on this channel swing in between a saddle, and there were some pad stems that had died off about a month ago. Sadly, the storms that come through Friday had washed all those out, so by the time I'd got to that spot, there was nothing left for me to fish. Kind of started spinning out, been 2 hours sitting and caught a fish. Ended up going into a pocket that a guy had come out and said that he had caught like a 10-incher. I was like, well, this is great. I'm not going to catch a fish today. They'd gone back there, heard some splashing, tossed a swim bait up in where I saw one splash, which I thought was a turtle, and I hooked into that 20-incher, and it just made my way out from there to that spot and into that saddle and caught 96 inches within, 2 hours. I mean, that 21-incher came out of nowhere. She was in the grass. And then today, I don't know what I was doing. I spun out for hours. The media boat rolled up on me probably an hour after I had stopped catching them. I probably caught 3 fish in the first 30 minutes. Had my buddy Joe that hosted me. I want to thank him because he fed me all week. He was just taking pictures of me today, because I thought we were going to be on them quick. And by the time they rolled up, I had not had caught a fish for an hour. I was like, I'm not going to even catch a check. I was leading day one and never done this in my life, and now I'm going to bust. Dylan had said, watching thousands of dollars waste down the drain makes you want to throw up. So about 12 o'clock, I pedaled back over the ramp. They were eating lunch at the truck, and his buddy had said, hey, I got you some Wendy's. And I'm like, I can't eat that. So I just pedaled off, and it was an hour. I had an hour left. Probably I caught my last 2 fish in 5 minutes, something like that. 10 minutes left? And that was about it. I got lucky. I'm here. I can't believe I'm 8th, 7th place, whatever it is.
Well, that's awesome, Case, and we appreciate you, and hopefully we can see you in the future. And you got some really good AOI points out of this weekend.
Just want to thank my wife and my kids for letting me be out here, my parents for supporting me, and again, Joe Drowns for keeping me in his house.
Good deal. Be safe getting home. Thank you very much. In 6th place, taking home $2,250 with an 86-inch day 1 limit, with a 90 1/4 day 2 for 176 1/4 overall. Industry staple, beloved Matt Ball. Last time I seen you, you were a spot ahead of me and cost me a championship on the tournament. So now you're here, I get to hand you some money. So,
And That was a great day. I'm not gonna lie, I was really hoping for one more spot, but I'll take this. I'm happy with it. Man, I've done really well in this lake over the years when I have fished here. I fished some history. I didn't come down until Thursday night. I got on the water Friday for about 2 hours before the weather just absolutely tanked, and I caught some good fish real quick. That tornado came through and pushed me off the water, and I just pretty much decided I was going to go there. And I absolutely caught all my fish on either a jackhammer or it was a fire crawl jackhammer and a mag fatty, and I was mojo rigging it when the wind stopped, and it worked out for me. I had a great time. I want to thank Bassmaster for all they do, and it's been a good ride, and I somehow keep finding myself cashing some checks. At some point it's going to stop, I guess. So I'm happy with this. So I want to thank Torquedo. Without it, I wouldn't have been able to, one, get to the spot that I was at and get there first, which was key because there was another fellow that we both were in the same area, and we shared an area. But since I got there first, I got to pick which direction I went, and it worked out pretty good. I want to thank Jackson Kayak. I've been with them for years. We got a great boat. The new NAR has been a great boat. If it hadn't been for the NAR Friday when I was trying to get back to the ramp, I probably wouldn't have a boat right now. It would have been at the bottom of the lake. I want to thank Dakota Lithium for powering all my electronics. They're just an incredible battery. Fishing online. I knew Guntersville was kind of a red pattern a lot of times, and I knew it was going to be muddy, and I needed some fire crawl soon, and gave them a call, and they hooked me up right away. So Fishing Online, check them out. They're a great company to get you stuff fast, and they're great people. I want to thank NRS for keeping me safe all the time and dry. And also, I want to say it's been a real pleasure to travel to all the different series, and my good friend back there, Cody Prather, we've been trying to really push this Fisherman's Fellowship for a lot of these events, and I really get a lot out of that, and I urge you all to try to join us when we have those. We're going to try to do them at all the events, all the series. It's just a great way to praise our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for the blessings that He gives us every day, and gives us a chance to come out here and enjoy this. Because without Him, we have nothing. So just want to thank my wife and kids, and I'll be home probably about 3 in the morning. So I'm going to turn around and go back to work in the morning. So y'all take care. God bless.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you, brother. Inch event total, Georgia Bass Nation state champion Joshua Deal. Thank you, Josh. You also get the 5th place button from Catch Outdoors.
Appreciate it, sir. Wow, I can't, I don't know. It's hard for me to think at the moment. I sure as heck didn't think I'd end up here in 5th place today. When I think about what happened this weekend, I knew with the storms coming in that I needed to target pre-spawners. Don't chase a spawning bite, don't chase bedfish, just go after pre-spawners. So I pulled in Thursday morning at 5 a.m. and fished for 12 hours in pouring down rain looking for pre-spawners. And I found a sequence of pre-spawners on flats and humps, and I was catching them on a crankbait. And what I noticed as the weather was changing is that they were kind of slapping at it, but they were aggressive towards it. And I was like, okay, I can work with this. Let the storms roll through, looked at my buddy, and I said, they're going to be there. I'm pretty sure they're going to be there. And so I cranked for 2 days straight throwing a clear crankbait for 2 days straight, and they would just lash out and just snatch it, ripping it through grass. Had to make sure I had open hooks versus EWGs just to make sure that they would make contact with it. Unfortunately, the difference between this fifth and probably one of those blue trophies over there is I left 3 big ones on the board. They came off short bites, whatnot, and that's what happens fishing a crankbait like I was fishing it this weekend. Just real privileged and real thankful for this. I want to thank my wife, my family, my friends, my teammates over there. They push me and make me a better angler as it is. I want to thank 5x3 Fishing, Dobbins, and Socks and Cookies for all their support, and looking forward to the rest of the season.
Yeah, that crankbait, what got you, your successful limit in your Georgia Bass Nation State Championship on Lake Seminole, was it kind of obviously it wasn't the same crankbait, I don't think, because of the depth. Was it? Well, if you don't mind refreshing the people, if it's not a secret, you just let them know what you were throwing.
No, I won't go into those details.
All right.
I'll put it this way, that crankbait has won me more money than any other crankbait that I've ever owned.
Is it one of the legendary ones that they don't make of anymore, or you got some backups?
No. I probably have about 25 of them sitting on the wall at the house. I probably brought 20 of them with me this weekend.
That's awesome. We appreciate you, Josh. Josh supports about everything there is out there. He's always in contention as well. One of the more helpful and cerebral anglers, if you can't tell from this speech here. Look forward to seeing you down the road. Do you think you're going to make Hartwell?
Absolutely. I have everything on the schedule this year. I plan to be at them all and make a big run at the AOI. So busy schedule. Looking forward to it.
All right, man. Let's go, folks. We got this Angler of the Year on fire already. Thank you. Appreciate it. Watching the leaderboard today, we got up this morning, and much like this weekend, it seems like the fish came, in big waves, and of course they're time stamped, but, so we're looking at everything, in the morning, there was some 20s sprinkled in, seemed about lunchtime that would just kick off again, and then towards the around 1:30, ish, there was just, they kept coming in, and fish were like 20 minutes before 1:30, so probably around 1 o'clock. So, as I mentioned during the updates, you could just see, there were so many anglers that were 1 fish, 2 fish away from jumping way up, and that goes all the way down. If you'll look at the Tourney X leaderboard when we go back live to it, you go down, you're talking about around 15th, 16th plates. Those guys, Drew and Eric and all of them, they weren't far away from jumping way up majorly. That's going to come into play down the road. That's why it's so important to fish as many events as you can to take home that Angler of the Year stuff. These points are very crucial. Not everybody's going to do like Drew and have 3 wins and a 97, so you better, you're going to have to come out and put in the work. Hopefully our field sizes continue to be what they are now. Obviously 235, we just, there's nothing you can say about that, but thank you. Just absolutely thank you guys. Thank you all. Give yourself a round of applause, please. You all deserve it. So again, this angler was much like Kaysen. Day 1 was just stroking them right there with 95 1/4. Kept his stomach in check to come in with 84 inches today, to jump up to 179 1/4 inch total for the weekend, taking home $3,000 and the second spot behind Josh Deal in the Bassmaster Championship Series next year. Dylan Smith. Dylan, that's yours too, buddy.
Let me get a hold on that. Yeah, so man, this morning rolled into my spot that I caught on my fish yesterday, and pretty much immediately hooked up 16 3/4. I was like, here we go. That calmed the nerves, and then just things just started happening. I lost 5 fish today before I had my 4th. And broke off on a couple, just lost a few, lost one while the camera boat was there with me, and it was just like it was a hard run to try to just stay focused. And I didn't really have anything else. I ran all my water, but I was like, bridges on Guntersville will get you right quick. So about 12:30 or so, I showed up at a bridge, and I don't know, within 3 casts, I hooked up on a 20-incher, and after that, I caught probably 9 more on that bridge, smaller ones, but filled a limit. Feel super blessed to be where I'm at. I mean, I didn't get any practice, and Guntersville always kicks my butt. So it's like to come out here and to be in this position, I feel very fortunate for that. You know, got a few people I want to thank. You know, Christ first and foremost. Very blessed to be in my position, and you know, everything I got. Really, honestly, everything I caught my fish on this weekend came from Talking Tackle in Chattanooga, Tennessee. If everybody that's going to be at the national championship, if you need baits, tackle, whatever it is, they can hook you up. Those guys are awesome. Also, working with one of my buddies, Jesse Clark, and some of his coworkers on a launch of a new kayak accessory brand. We'll be working on that, launching that here in the next couple months. But BBKC, and we'll tell the full story of that before too long. And but it's yeah, just very thankful. Thank you. I mean, this is an amazing event. 235, like you said, there's no words for that. So really appreciate you guys. Yeah.
And Dylan's another one of those anglers that helps with the grassroots. He's a co-director with myself, Daniel Davis, Ryan Lambert, Casey Smith, and Joe Kirk on Lake Chickamauga, the Tennessee Valley Kayak Anglers. Our schedule is available online as well. You know, Dylan's been in kayak fishing for a little bit, but as far as tournament-wise goes, probably been about 3 years. Second, last year he showed up in a dirt cold, nasty Chickamauga tournament and stroked them then too. And you know, I got to see him from about 300 yards away do it. So I want to thank you for what you do for us back home and supporting this on the national level. And you're one of the people that it just warms your heart to get you to see what you got to do this weekend. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, in third place. Again, you know, as we mentioned, as you'll see when the numbers are over, these final three, their limits were good the entire weekend. The first, second, and third place, you know, day ones and day twos were very tight, very tight. Watching them all go back and forth was exciting, and you never know when that angler is in the zone and is sandbagging one just because they don't want to stop fishing. And so everyone fished really clean. They had multiple catches over their 5 for their limits, so that was really nice to see the lake being that healthy. Again, you know, Scottsboro, Alabama down here hosting and opening up their doors all the time for us it's quite amazing. So this angler is no stranger to the front of a camera anywhere, taking home $4,000 with a 91 and a quarter day 1, 93 and a quarter day 2, 184 total. Russ Snyders.
Russ.
Appreciate you, man.
Happy to be up here. Well, yeah, I got up here Wednesday and kind of had a limited time pre-fish. I had some back issues. My back was hurting pretty bad, so I only got out for a couple hours Wednesday and I think about an hour on Friday before that storm came in. Found an area that had some bedfish. That's where I ended up going to the tournament. Actually the day before the tournament, our power cut off at our house, so really thankful for Dakota Lithium and the power boxes for everybody to keep their phones charged and to get some light around the house and stuff. So tournament morning, a number of people at the ramp. I have a Wilderness Systems Attack 120 with a Torpedo 1103. It's probably one of the fastest kayaks out there, which I needed to get to my spot. I was able to beat a few people out there, which I was grateful for, and started out fishing a trap for a little bit in the morning before I went bed fishing. Needed the sun to come up a little bit before I could see the beds. So I was throwing my trap on my iRod Signature Series Snyder Sniper, 30-pound braid. Got a couple doing that, and then once the sun came out, caught a few on beds. I was using my Yak Attack parking poles. Came in really handy, just being able to anchor down and fish those bed fish. Had pretty solid day yesterday. I think I lost one good fish each day, but that's part of it, especially when you're throwing traps and stuff. They come off every once in a while. So, overall it was a great tournament. I'd really like to thank you, Steve-O, for taking charge. I think I speak for everyone. We're really just grateful to have you as a new tournament director. Also like to thank Wilderness Systems, Dakota Lithium, iRod, Catch Outdoors, Music City Outdoors. They're located in Nashville. If you're Yeah, want to look at a kayak? They have probably 8, 9 different brands, just about all of them. So go check them out. And I'm forgetting somebody. I got a little list. I'm not gonna forget somebody this time. And yeah, Ted, what is iRod? Oh, I did get everybody. All right.
Well, you obviously you've got some amazing Angler of the Year points here. Do you think you're going to be able to make any more this year?
Yeah, I'm at least gonna hit 4. I'm not sure about Possum Kingdom, but I'm planning on doing the other 3. Hopefully, I can make Possum Kingdom too and get all 5. This is well, a little motivation with a good start here to hit as many as I can.
Russ brought up an interesting point as I was listening to him about what he did fishing. He uses his parking poles. That's a spike. Like boats have the anchor talons and things like that. Russ obviously is arguably one of the most talented, gifted anglers in our entire sport. He's got sponsors. Anyone that he wanted, he could name. Russ has the things that you all see, the fancy bells and whistles. But time and time again, I've seen Russ go bare bones and basic like some of our anglers do. So you don't have to have the 12-inch graphs, the live scope like we all can get. They're all everywhere. Everyone's got a credit card and you can get them yourselves. But Russ doing what he does like that, take note of that and don't let anything deter you from getting into these series. I've seen Russ with a paddle in his hand take home state championships over a field of over 130 of the best people in the state. Arguably, Tennessee is one of those better states. He goes to Texas, does the shallow fishing, and uses that kind of stuff. So whatever it takes to get in a kayak, do it. Reach out to all of us. We'll be more than glad to help you do it, and you can do it on any kind of budget that you want. At the end of the day, it's fishing. They buy about everything. You just got to put it in front of it, make it happen. Doesn't matter if it costs $1 or $5. So, Russ, want to thank you for that role model that you put out there.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it.
There's that hardware right there. Yeah. We'd like to remind everybody that I called up who was an award winner. Stick around when we're done and close this out. We're just going to do a quick photo shoot with Mark Cisneros. So, all right. These last 2 here, I want to go ahead and call up Greg DePalma and Ryan Thompson. Both of these gentlemen had incredibly consistent limits for the weekend. Watching them go back and forth, I think Ryan kind of jumped up a little bit later yesterday. I'm pretty sure there were a lot of limits coming through, a lot of fish judged. We have 1,560 fish judged this weekend. That's not to mention the ones like, say, if you caught a 14-incher, you guys didn't have a 14-incher on a stringer, so you probably threw it back and didn't even submit it. So grateful for that. Something that does get lost in translation sometimes, since we're all so used to it as our standard, is Tourney X. We appreciate all that they do to improve and evolve that system. Anytime, you're going to have issues when you deal with electronics, period. But anytime we have anything, it's a very quick fix. I mean, it's stressful on the back end when things happen as a tournament director, but it's far less stressful when you have the support that we do back home with Dwayne Wally and Tourney X, getting those things straightened out as they come. So these anglers, like I had mentioned, they went back and forth. They had a lot of really good fish. Just, a testament to the lake again. Again, I can't stress how good Guntersville is. Get down here, spend your vacation time here. It's really great. So I'm going to let them both speak before we give out $62.50 and $13,000 real quick. So I'm going to let you talk, Ryan, about your weekend just a little bit.
So I got in Thursday morning, probably around daylight, and I decided I wasn't going to fish because the weather was going to be so drastically different this weekend. I didn't want to find something good because I figured they'd be feeding somewhere with it raining and overcast. I didn't want it to mess my mind up going into Saturday instead of fishing the way I should have. So Thursday I just rode around, checked ramps. Friday morning still had those fronts moving through, so I launched that little window we had first thing that morning right by my hotel. I can't remember one of our ramps, and checked the water temperature on the main lake and went to the back of a creek to a bridge and checked the temps there. Didn't see anything I liked. Came back to the hotel, and the only thing that well, not the only thing, but what I figured would do best for me, I went on my Garmin and erased all of my layers and changed it to where everything from 2 to 8 foot was highlighted red. That's it. And at the hotel that night, I just zoomed out and looked main lake, around ramps to try to find some little shoals, like maybe a little offshore spot that somebody else overlooked. You know, those spots are going to be there without highlighting them red, but when those spots pop up red, it's just in your mind, it's like you got to go try it. So I had one little shoal off of a point kind of out into the lake, in that 15-foot range, and another one, you know, a little further up in the creek. And that's where I launched and went for it. And Saturday morning, I think it's like 12 o'clock, I had nothing. And ended up catching a 13-incher. And I was just fishing on the outside of that shoal a little deeper with a straight tail worm because I knew they hadn't pulled up yet. It was still cold. And when the sun got, you know, about to its highest around 12:30, I pulled up on that shoal and caught that 22 and whatever. Just slowly creeping the jackhammer back up. It dropped from 15 back up. She bit it. She was in like 13, I think. Caught her and swung around to the other spot. I actually sat on top of the shoal because it was shallow and was fan casting off of the drop. And it was just back to back. And with about an hour left, I quit fishing, which I shouldn't have probably. Kept that 16. I didn't want to beat it up too bad because I didn't know what the day was going to bring. Went back there this morning. Planned on it being a slow start because it was cold last night. At 8:30, I had nothing, and I felt a slight breeze come, and I knew that was probably about the time they were going to kick off. And right after that, I caught 3 big ones back to back, and it was pretty much nonstop until lines out on that one spot. At one point, when the boats kind of cleared out around me, I didn't want them to pull up on that shoal. They cleared out. You probably saw on the map that other shoal I was fishing was 75 yards. I ran over to it really quick, made one cast, caught a 19.75, and went back to my spot before anybody could pull up on it. So
there's no way in the world I'm leaving if I caught a 19 3/4 inch. That takes some courage.
My 2 biggest fish I caught, the 22 and whatever I caught yesterday, was off that spot, and the big 19 today was off that spot. Everything else was off the second shoal, but I chose to stay on the spot that had more fish opposed to the 1 or 2 big fish. You know, 50 inches on 2 fish ain't gonna win you nothing, but you know, 520s will. So that's what I did. Other than that, I do want to mention a couple people. I'd like to say thanks to my wife. We just, past couple years, we've been living in Minnesota up by Mille Lacs. We just moved down, originally from South Carolina, moved up there, been up there the past couple years and decided we were going to move back. So special thanks to her. While we just purchased a new house and she's at home remodeling and doing everything, watching the kids, I get to be out here doing what I love doing, so I can't say thank you enough to her. Attorney X for being the #1 tournament management app on the planet. I sent Dwayne a text at 4:30 this morning on a Sunday morning, and before I could get my phone back into my PFD, it buzzed. He was already up and at 'em, getting us right. There's just you can't compete with that. And special thanks to my friends back up north in Minnesota. They've been checking on me all week. I hate that I can't be up fishing with them anymore. I'm living back here. I will try to make lacrosse, but they've kept me going all week, so thanks to them.
Before we bring up the next angler, I want to segue over into something you had mentioned, the mental aspect of kayaking or in fishing in general. You know, thank God I'm good at a tournament director because all the stuff he just mentioned is just blowing my mind. I mean, you know, your shading, I understand, you know, keeping your contours where you know you want to fish or whatever, but what I want to ask Greg DePalma as he comes up with being an Elite Series angler is obviously every aspect of fishing is mental. It's tough. With what you did this weekend, how does that relate mentally to the other? Because he took that commitment to stay with what he knew. He stayed with what he knew. So there was something else a little juicy over there, but in his mind, he was like, I'm going to leave these few big bites and go back to whatever. So if you don't mind to come up, Greg DePalma, and just explain just a little bit about, you know, as I mentioned, the mental stuff as it translated this weekend for you. Coming from a big boat, I understand you hadn't been in a kayak very long, and so just how that went for you.
Yeah, so, you know, jumping into the mental side of this, as far as bass fishing in general, it's more experience than anything. You know, when you're fresh and you're new at this, the first thing you want to do, you're not catching them. What do? You want to leave. You know, that's what everybody does. The more and more you do it, and especially in a kayak, for sure, you know, you gotta almost sometimes. It's kind of crazy to explain, but I think the kayak will actually make you a better fisherman after doing it this week, and I mean that sincerely because you just can't get up and leave. So with that being said, sometimes, almost all the times, it can be a simple adjustment. Even just line size can make the biggest adjustment sometimes catching more fish. So if I can tell you anything to help you guys out in the future, it's more or less have confidence in what you're doing. You know, if you figured out something and it's not working that next day, guaranteed there's some kind of adjustment you guys can make and it will work on the same area. It's just different baits, different presentation, and something different. That's pretty much the gist of it. I mean, there's some other stuff, but that's pretty much it.
Well, appreciate you sharing that insight. You want to get into just a little bit about like what it took for you to catch these really nice limits to have you up here for either first or second place.
Yeah, so, this week, obviously coming to Guntersville at this time of year, so there's two places in the country I've been to, Guntersville and Lake Fork. They're the two places that I can tell you they get pounded like crazy. I know Chickamauga does too, but I'm not using that for reference because I think Chickamauga is going downhill a little bit. But Guntersville just puts the fish out, and so does Lake Fork. This is one of the places, I don't care how many boats go across the spot, there's more active fish that are ready to eat every single time. The biggest thing this week for me was, obviously, March 7th. It's a full moon, guys. I instantly thought spawning areas, that's where I'm focusing all my time. I did focus a lot of my time on the pre-spawn fish that were moving up. I fished 4 ditches this week. It kind of changed a little bit on me, and I made the adjustment. The first day of the tournament, I caught all the fish literally out of the dirt in the top of the ditch. Every time I threw my trap, I either got stuck on grass or I caught a fish. Today, actually, it was opposite. So we had some good wind today, and I think that positioned the fish a lot better. A lot of the fish actually slid all the way out to the ends of the ditches. I only caught 1 fish this week that was spawning, so I think the majority were fresh, brand new. They came up this week. I think if we were on the water tomorrow, it would be even better. Yep.
And either of you guys, I mean, is there more that you want to go to on the schedule this year? That I know you have a busy schedule like everyone else. What do you think you're going to maybe able to hit this year?
So I'm going to try to do 4 of the 5. I'm looking forward to Susquehanna. I've been there a lot. It's where I live, actually, right up there. But I think the whole schedule actually is really good. I think you guys are going to Hartwell at a great time. I've never been to Possum Kingdom. That's probably the one I'm going to skip. We have Sabine the same exact time. But La Crosse is really good. You guys are going to love that place if you have not been there. I promise you that, especially in a kayak. But no, I think it's a great schedule for sure. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I want to go over here and give out the numbers. All right, in second place, taking home $6,250 with a 93.5 on day 1, was just a 1/4 inch less than the winner, and a 94 today, which was 2 inches less than the winner. So with 187.5 total from Minnesota, South Carolina, Ryan Thompson. We'll just sit this down here. There we go. Well, we spoke just a little bit, and let you talk about a lot just a moment ago. So if there's anybody you want to get back into thanking, anything you want to add to that you thought about when you were over there listening to Greg speak, again, thank you for coming down and spending as much time as you did away from your family and everything that's going on there. Congratulations on your new home. But, this is pretty spectacular. This is the largest field we've ever had. And, you put into work this weekend and you made it happen. So congratulations to you. And then I'll just let you be able to speak on anything else you want to.
Yeah, thank you. So another thing I should have mentioned, the sportsmanship that I got from everybody around me, because I wasn't in some secluded area. I was in a pretty popular area with a lot of boats around me, and a lot of people saw me catching fish, and I didn't have a single person encroach on me, even try to. I actually had one guy in a kayak quit fishing. It was on the other side of the creek, channel. And he actually sat down and was just watching me catch him when I was on the hot flurry and just cheering me on and clapping. He was having a good time. So just thank all y'all for, all that. And the city of Scottsburg, that's, Thursday after I did all my riding around, I tried to find some of the top restaurants. And I actually went to some little oyster bar down here. I can't remember the name of it. And that was pretty good. But other than that, just you, Bassmaster. Bassmaster, it was always my dream as a little kid to never win anything Bassmaster, just to fish it. And I don't care if it's in a bass boat, a canoe, a kayak, or an inner tube. If it's a Bassmaster, it's still Bassmaster. So a blue trophy alone is just a dream come true. I never thought I'd do it. I know, we still got a lot more to win. You still got the classic and everything else, but it's baby steps for me, and I'm proud to be here.
Well, you take a huge step this weekend. You got a lot of good Dakota Lithium Angler of the Year points. I don't know if you mentioned earlier, are you going to be able to fit anything else on the schedule, you think?
I will definitely be at Hartwell, Susky. May try to get back up to Minnesota for lacrosse. I'm not sure I will make Texas.
It's pretty good, guys. You hear, we've got the top 10 here pretty much all committing to being able to get at least, one drop off of their schedule, and some are going to get two. So thank all of you for that, and we'll go ahead and bring up the champion. We appreciate what you do this weekend. So in first place, again, with 93 1/4 day one, 96 day two, some key clutch culls with 89 3/4 total, taking home $13,000. Greg DePalma. Well, Greg, we've had 25 people up here. I'm about out of questions, so I just want to thank you for coming up and helping us expound our platform with name and notoriety. And just, you've got the floor. We really appreciate all you've done this weekend.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys. Bassmaster for me has just always been the family I've been a part of my whole career. So, Wednesday, first day of practice, was the first day I've ever stepped in a kayak. So it was pretty amazing to actually fish out of that thing. I'm not new to small boats. I've been fishing out of John boats my entire life. I actually thrive to do that kind of stuff. I wish there was a John boat tour, but there's not. This is the closest thing that I can find, actually, so that's why we're doing it. That's one of the reasons why. But the simplicity side, too, is a big reason for me. I just like bass fishing. That's the best way for me to say it. I don't care if it's a small derby, a big derby, or a kayak tournament. I want to fish. I burn to fish tournaments, and this is why I do it.
We appreciate you again coming out. Again, you've got a busy schedule coming. We appreciate you making the commitment to the Dakota Lithium Angler of the Year race. And if there's anything we can do to reach out and help any of that make it happen for anyone at home, we'll be certain to do that. Before Greg leaves, we want to thank the Yamaha Right Waters. A lot of people are like, you got Yamaha as a sponsor. I mean, Yamaha's a very large corporation with a commitment to keeping these waters clean. I want you to pay attention, all of you at home, who are coming. When you come to the lakes that we're fishing, because I've been to a lot of them and I've seen the others, we're going to a lot of clean lakes, and that takes a lot of work to do. We have other elite anglers. A lot of you do the charity work when you come into towns with these river cleanups and things like that. Elite angler Carl Jacobson has his river cleanup initiative going on in conjunction with the Bassmaster Classic, I believe, the weekend before or something like that. So just look on Bassmaster.com. You'll be able to find all these links to take you everywhere else. We look forward to growing this with you all. We look forward to just continuing to get the social media exposure out. We couldn't do it all without people like you. So I want to thank all of you for what you've done. Continue to follow us, reach out with any questions, and I've got such a grateful heart for all of you and trusting me and being able to do this. Integrity leads the way, and by all means, always reach out to me if you see something you have an issue with, and we'll work together. We'll make it through it. We'll make it better so that you can all come and get your stage presence and your platform grown. So thank all of you, and have a good night, and be safe getting home.